What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. We're going to do something a little bit different today. Today I'm going to take you guys kind of in the weeds of being a media business owner. Okay? Now, what I'm going to tell you today is very open, very transparent about the business and about what to expect. So if you are in this business or if you're wanting to get into this business, you either know that what I'm about to say has happened to you and it's frustrating, or you want to get into this business and I can guarantee you that this will happen to you. In the span of my 8 years, this has probably happened to me 50 times, maybe more. Now, I'm going to show you guys an edit that I did for a client. I'm going to walk you through the thought process. I'm going to show you every edit that I made and why. I'm going to show you the original video. I'm then going to show you the final video. I'm going to show you the video that I sent to the client for approval. I'm going to share with you what changes he wanted to make. And then I'm going to talk about the issue that I have. This is going to be today's video because this is something that needs to be the main focus of a video, because this is very important for anyone wanting to get into this space. So let me set this up for you. When you sign on with a client, you have one goal. Your goal is to achieve whatever that goal is for said business. So that is your goal when you sign your name on the dotted line. Now, I've mentioned before, I can also make a video on this. I do not price for a service. Anyone can price for a service and anyone can rip you off. For example, let's say I am a painter and I'm going to paint a room in a house. Business A quotes me $5,000. Business B quotes me $10,000. Why do I feel like I'm getting ripped off with business B? You can't really know unless the work is done. Most people are just going to go with the cheaper option, right? Here is how I price, and I will go into a much greater detail on this in a separate video. So if you want to hear the reason why I do this and how it's worked for me, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, because I guarantee you it'll help me, because it's helped me. It'll help you because it's helped me. I price per goal. So the first thing that I do when I start working with the client is, what are your goals? Okay. They list out their goals. I don't price for the service. I price for the goal. So once I figure out, okay, these are your goals, what are you willing to pay to achieve those goals? They list you a number and then you work around that number. Sometimes it's more than you would have quoted them. I've had clients where I'm thinking 2,000 and they say $5,000, but I've had the opposite too, where I'm thinking 2,000 and they say $500. And at that point, you've got to kind of work and negotiate, right? But by doing that, the client themselves don't feel ripped off. Now, that puts a lot of stress on you to execute, because if you're not following through on helping them reach their goals, then it looks bad on you. So I'm going to preface, everything that I just said by saying this. Without getting specific, this is a restaurant client. Their goal was simply to increase revenue without getting too specific. So that's the goal behind working and doing this type of work for this client. In what marketing ways can I increase their revenue? Now, I have a great relationship with this owner, and I have nothing bad to say about him at all. This is just part of being in the media business. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start by showing you the raw clips that we started with. Now, this was filmed on my DJI Pocket 3. It's my favorite camera. It's better than 99% of cameras out there. And it's not because it's necessarily the best in quality. If you had to ask me the best quality camera, I would probably say the Sony FX3. It's my favorite camera really ever in a commercialized professional environment. But when we're making videos for social media or even professional interviews, my favorite camera by far is the DJI Pocket 3. So that's what we're filming on. This is also a follow-up to yesterday's video. Now in yesterday's video, I went to this business, I explained my thought process, I shared that, I filmed there. We shot multiple videos. This is one of those videos that I filmed at that location. So if you have not watched that video, click up here because it's going to be very important to understand why I was doing what I was doing when you come to see this, okay? So this whole video is 2 clips. It is these 2 clips and these 2 clips only. Now, in social media, the number one thing that sells are girls, cars, infants, and animals. Cars being 4, and then the other 3 are kind of just up top, all sharing the same number 1 seed. So that is why I want to include the bartender in this video, because women sell. That's nothing against women. That's a grade A towards women. Women love to sell. Women see women. They want to associate with other women. They feel comfortable. Also, pretty women. People love talking to pretty women. That's just a proven fact. So women are great for social media. So here's the bartender. So this clip that I'm going to show you, there's nothing to it. It is a straight smiling video. That's it. Here we go. That's it. Okay. That's clip 1. Now we come over to clip 2. This is the raw clip that we're going to show into the edit.
Okay, go ahead.
That's it, okay? So those are the 2 clips that we're working with. Now, in this, the thing that I wanted to point out was A, the steak tacos, B, the beer, because it's a sports bar. It's a restaurant sports bar vibe, kind of like a nicer version of Buffalo Wild Wings. 3, it's the playoffs for the NBA and for the NHL, but it's also baseball season. So as you can see, there is a baseball game on TV. So all of this shot was scripted. As you heard me tell her, okay, go ahead, because it's a scripted shot. Now, if we go into the actual edit, now I've said this before, I used to use Final Cut Pro for everything. Then I ran into a program called CapCut, and it's overlooked, and a lot of professionals they look at CapCut like it's a joke. CapCut is my favorite video editing software ever. I fully switched from Final Cut Pro to CapCut last year. It has been the greatest decision that I've ever made in my professional life when it comes to anything media related. CapCut is insane. This is not sponsored. This is just my honest thoughts. CapCut, if you want to sponsor me, feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave my email right here. You can reach out to me. Ultimately, I love CapCut. I will say that recently they've changed their free package to a more expensive pro package. What was free is now $20 a month. You could say it was $10, but regardless, it is $20 a month now. I wish CapCut offered a full-time subscription just for the year, for the entire year. I'm sorry, that's not what I even meant to say. Not for the entire year, for just a one-time purchase for the entire package. You just buy it and you're done with it, kind of like Final Cut Pro. I think when I bought it almost 8 years ago, I think it was like $600, $700, but you just buy it once and you're done. With CapCut, you got to pay per month or per year, and that's a little bit annoying, but it's an expense, and it's an expense that I'm glad to pay for because it's worth it. So I use CapCut. If you have any questions about CapCut, let me know. I'll also make a video kind of later on CapCut and why I like it so much. So if that's something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you haven't watched my other videos, I'm really trying to get monetized here. I'm really trying to show raw behind the scenes days in the life of a business owner. I'm posting like daily right now. So if that's something you want to see, then you know what to do. Okay, so we're gonna open up CapCut. and we're going to go into the project. Okay, so this here was the original. Now, I'll kind of go through this real quick because I don't want this to lag on, but I am going to show you and explain to you my thought process in this. Okay, so as we drag the little cursor here, we're going to come through. We start with a mouse click. It's attention grabbing. It's the first thing you see. You're going to start with a logo and then a mouse click, and then that opens into the actual video. So then from there, we're moving through, okay? And this is the clip that we already saw. And then it is going to explode into the logo and then into the address. Now, the first iteration of this has changed a little bit. I changed the color grade because the client did not like the color grade. Perfectly acceptable, understandable, no big deal. Color grade changed. However, he did cut out the bartender. Originally, I had the bartender in here. It was about 4 to 5 seconds long. I don't obviously have it in the edit anymore, but it was at a point here. Actually, I actually still have it on my phone saved from when I originally did it. So I'll put the video on overlay right here.
It's a home run.
And as you can see, it wasn't much, but she was in the video and it was enough to showcase her in the video. And then we moved into the final part as we've already seen, okay? Now, every video, every photo, everything that you do for a client, there's a reason for why you're doing it. Storytelling, okay? The easiest thing to do is call yourself a marketer, call yourself a video editor by throwing up a video, cutting it up in a couple places, throwing a song on it, and calling yourself a marketer. That's the completely wrong way of doing it, and it's not going to build the brand or build the business. Every single video has a purpose. The purpose for this is to gain engagement, draw attraction to the sports bar, and a general overview. So, in here, I've already played the raw video for you. There are numerous added effects in this video, not video effects, sound effects, okay? So before I play the video, if you notice down here, right here, this is a mouse click. Why? Because we see a mouse cursor on screen, okay? This Roar by Peter Spacey is one of my favorite cinematic songs to use on a video like this because it fits the vibe, it builds the vibe that you're looking for, okay? Then if you come down here, you notice right here, okay, so we cut the song and we go to beer. Now this is a beer bottle cap. That's what this sound effect is, okay? Immediately after that, you wanna really draw the attention into the sports bar. So what's on TV? It's a baseball game. So right before we have the song come back in and right before we have a crowd cheering, we have a baseball crack of the bat. So a wooden bat, crack of the bat. Then originally, and I decided on my own to cut this out, I had a radio sports announcer announce, "Goal!" But it doesn't fit the vibe. So I did the whole video and I was like, well, why is he saying goal? Because we're talking about baseball, okay? And originally I didn't have the baseball bat sound in there. So I decided to cut goal out because it didn't make sense. And I brought in the sports announcer to say home run. So you add the crack of the baseball bat with the commentator saying home run and the crowd cheering. You now have set the stage for the storytelling aspect of this video. You've got people interested with the mouse click into the opening. You're showing off some really good food. You're showing off a nice cold beverage. Then all of a sudden that all cuts out and it's a big emphasis and cinematic raw. That then will continue into the explosion. Now I call it the explosion because it's a great way to continue to keep the attention on the video. Now remember, people don't have attention spans anymore. So you've got to be very quick with everything you do, every effect, every visual, every audio piece. You've got to keep the attention. Once again, a simple overlay of a song is not going to do that. You need visual and auditory emphasis in order to keep their attention. So that's the whole point of this. Now, I did leave kind of, so there, you see down here, there's a glitch and a TV noise. This was in the original video when I had the bartender, because I had an effect, a glitch effect, where that was from. But I didn't mind it after I removed it, so I kind of just left it here. So ultimately, that is still there. And then we continue obviously with the song, and then lastly, the pin of the address location. So this entire video is 21 seconds, but the last 4 seconds, last 3 seconds are nothing but just fading audio, so we just don't have a direct cut, okay? So now, with all that, I'm gonna play the video back. And then I'll show you, or I'll explain to you one more time the thought process.
It's a home run.
So, if we replay that back again, you're gonna have the logo into a mouse click, the attention grabber at the beginning. Okay, got the branding in the bottom right. You see a beer, you see food, it's attention grabbing. Food is attention grabbing. Here it comes. Bottle cap. Now I want you to listen for the crack of the baseball bat. In the background, as soon as the bottle cap pops, you hear the baseball bat. Then you're gonna hear the announcer, then you're gonna hear the crowd. All of that plays into the vibe that we're trying to set as a sports bar, okay? That is telling the story that this is a sports bar. Then you go into the logo with the explosion, which makes people kind of, right? Okay. And then you're just going to simply put the address. That is it. The call to action is seeing the address. Hey, come here. Now, obviously, all that pairs with the description as well. So now when we come to the description here is cinematic and very descriptive, okay? So the description that I went with was, game day just got better. We list the business is prime time. Take our quality food mixed with an ice cold beer while you feel the electric vibe and cheer on your team. And then we talk about the address and then the ultimate sports bar, okay? All of that is descriptive. It makes you want to be there, okay? So that was the edit. Now I'm gonna kind of move into the next segment of this video. We're about 18 minutes in. Mind you, I am not in any way dissing the owner for what I'm about to say, but I sent that video to him for approval. We made a couple changes immediately. Perfectly fine. Color grade, he wanted to cut the bartender, as we mentioned. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but okay, you know, it's your video. If that's what you want to do, that's okay. So we did it. But here's the problem. Then he says, let's use this audio instead. Just cut the audio that you have. That's going to be a problem. There's a reason. The reason that I just described why this video is built and structured the way it is. This video was not built around the video. This video started with a song, then sound effects, then the video added into the song, the sound effects. You removed the audio, the original audio of The Roar by Peter Spacey with all the sound effects, you instantly lost Every storytelling technique, everything that made the attention grab is gone. So let me show you what he sent to me.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. VIP coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Most feds in the state wanna see by me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other nigga got a hip and shouted he not me. Who set the city on fire soon as he got free? The king back now. Hoes don't even know how to act now. Hit the club, strippers getting naked for I.
Do you see the difference? You took every auditory experience and you literally just replaced it with a song. I love T.I. I'm a fan of T.I. That used to be one of the greatest songs back in high school. That song came out. I remember running out onto the basketball court, even coming out of the baseball field to that song. And it's always going to be one of my favorite songs back in the day, like a nostalgia song. Nothing about that song fits that vibe. Nothing. What are we bringing out? Are we trying to bring out the people? Maybe. But ultimately, every auditory experience that we had is gone. The video itself now has random visuals that don't make any sense. For the explosion, for an example. There's an explosion. Where's the sound effect? Right? There's nothing. Why is there just a random explosion? There's no attention grabber. So ultimately, here's now what you struggle with. You can go with the original video that you made, right? But the client might be upset. But you know that your video is way better than the duplicate that you got from the client. Or you can go with the client video. Now, if you go with the client video, client's always right. In a way, so if that's what they want to use for their business, let them use it, okay? So if they want to use something for their brand and for their business, let them. But here's the problem. If you remember what I said at the beginning, what is the goal? The goal is to grow the revenue of the business. Is the video that is featured with just a song, is that going to increase revenue? I don't know, but probably not. Is my video going to increase revenue? I don't know, but it's got a better chance than the client and what they wanted. So if you go with the client video, at the end of the month, when viewership is down, when engagement is down, when followers are lost, when business is bad, it falls back on you. Hey, why are we not performing? Could it have been the video that we posted that maybe could have had 100,000 views, but instead only got 1,000 views? Or do you roll with the video that you know is better, but then you upset the client and then the client thinks you're taking advantage of them? That's the rock and the hard place that you have to struggle with and you deal with. Something like this is annoying. It's frustrating. You know what is going to perform better, but at the same time, you have to go with what the client wants. Now, I was very respectful, and I'm not going to share the conversation, but I was very respectful. But I blatantly said, respectfully, I hate it, after he sent me that. And I kind of explained why, which is all this. And after about 15 minutes, we came to an agreement to use the video that I originally made. I have another example for you. There is a local ice cream place about 20 minutes from where I live in Florida. And originally, I've been there a few times. I've been there for business. I've been there, actually no, both times I was there previous was for business. No one ever there, not a soul, just me. And I was talking to them, blah, 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 blah. Well, they ended up getting a person to do their marketing, and their marketing person ended up succeeding. They had a video on TikTok go viral. My wife and I went there, and the place was busy. It was packed because of that video. I think the video's got like 500,000 views right now on TikTok. That is the hope, that is the want of every marketer when it comes to making content for social media. Now, in my business, I do more than social media. You know, I do all sorts of different type of marketing. I do any professional videography. I do commercials. I do website design. I do podcast production. I do graphic design. I do social media SEO. I do Google. I do all of that. So there's much more in my line of work than just social media marketing. But when your goal on social is to build a business, that's the best way to do it. And I use them as an example because it only takes one video to grow the business. Every video that you put out, 10 of them might not do anything, but the 11th might blow the business up, and you just got yourself a payday because you helped the business skyrocket. The business itself skyrockets, everyone's happy. But when you get put into a situation like this, where the client wants something and you want something else, and you can't really come to an agreement, there's two options. You can side with the client, or you can go your way. You just got to think about what the pros and the cons are of each. But at the end of the day, try to do your best to be very respectful to the client. Also, try to let them know the reason behind what you're doing. Because everybody wants to be a marketer, everybody wants to be a videographer, everybody wants to be a professional, but they're paying you to do a service. And if you're not succeeding in that service, then you're going to fail and they're going to fail. So sometimes you have to use the knowledge that you have, that you've built over your career, and use that to allow the client to understand why you're doing it. And if you can do that respectfully and the client agrees, you're good. If the client still doesn't agree, it is what it is. Post what they want and move on. It's just like a commercial. When you're filming a commercial, sometimes you love something, but the actual business who the commercial is for, they don't like the way something's written, they don't like the way something looks, even if there's a specific reason behind it, and they cut it. And if that's what they want, that's what they want. There's nothing you can do about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a much different video that I've really ever done. I'm not really ever doing screen recordings. I'm not really ever talking in this vibe and showing what I'm doing like this. But this is exactly what I'm trying to bring to you on this channel moving forward. As I mentioned previous, if you did not watch the first ever video that I did explaining why I'm doing this and how I'm doing this day in the lifestyle and this raw behind the scenes of the businesses that I'm working on, the whole goal is for people to see what it's like to run a media business, to own a media business. Right now, I just started this business back. After being in the business for 8 years, I took about a year off to focus on my trucking business. And now I'm focusing back on my media business. I just started this again in February of 25, and we're now in April. I've got about 6 clients currently. My goal is to get to about 10,000 a month. Right now we're not at that. Right now I'm around 6,000 per month. I've got clients that do a lot. I've got clients that do a little, but right now we're at about 6,000 a month. Once I get to 10,000 per month, my goal then is to hire and outsource work to my employee, and then have that employee learn from me so we can build the business together. But until I get to that threshold, I'm continuing to do all of this on me. My wife is pregnant, as I've mentioned before. She's not working. I've got to be respectful. I've got to be responsible. I've got to be the man. I've got to do what it is that I've got to do to build my family and help my family grow and succeed, and ultimately lead us in a direction that's going to help us hit our goals in life that we want to. So if you like this type of content, please, please, please hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get monetized on here. Hit the like button, hit the share button. If you have any questions, any concerns, whatever, leave a comment down below. Let me know. And as always, peace out. And remember, you create your own story.